All right, Cyber Traders, we are live this Monday afternoon, January 9th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Great to see Brian still with us here watching Lucid LCID. Perhaps we'll jump to that in just a moment. Great to see Chuck and Manuel still with us here just before, and Jeff and Mark we'll be talking to just coming up in a moment. Look forward to that, Mark. Great to have all of us back on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube. So, folks, let's hop right into it. I'll tell you what, nothing really standing out a whole lot heading into this meeting. Fate, at least on the screen, so that might be the best looker right now. It's up over 28%, trying to make a nice recovery from Friday's drop-off that it had. This was down like 65%, I think, at one point from Friday last week, and we were looking for a squeeze on it back then. So, this one ended up kind of taking by storm just shortly after the market opened up here this morning. Ended up beginning to pop from 440, 450, and smooth sailing since. Perhaps I'll put this on our watch list right now and come back to it just at the tail end and just to show a book map on it, level 4. I don't have it up right now, so if you don't mind, actually, what I'll do is load it up right now. I'll come back to this even at the end. We'll show what book map looks like. But, the market pulled back. It hasn't gone much of anywhere since. I was even just prepping up some Bitcoin charts and some other crypto charts just going into this meeting. Not a whole lot to really talk about. So let's go right from the top. Really right from the gainers list. We don't really have class this afternoon. I have a coaching call with one of our students, Mark, coming up. But, really, we'll just go right from the top. Any of the movers that we ended up going over, we'll recap them briefly. We'll see if there's anything else out there at this point. Got this frog in my throat actually heading into this meeting, so pardon me there. But CINC to start off, this was up big early this morning. Ended up launching all the way up as high as like 29.40. But when you zoom out, it's a buyout. So it was up big already early from pre-market and was, really flat heading into the open. So there was another one that was also a buyout, and we don't really focus on those as much. I think that other one was AMYT. Yeah. So, rule of thumb, the more expensive the buyout is in terms of dollar per share, there's a chance it could wiggle up, wiggle down a little bit, but it's just not worth it. The APGN coming off of some news earlier this morning. This was a great trade, at least in pre-market. Then after the market opened up, it actually popped out the gate and got halted. It led to a better play heading into the mid to late morning, the stock. It ended up bottoming out right off of 181, 180-ish. Broke under and over that price, that fat green line here, but ended up beginning to bounce back up from that point. I wasn't looking at this as a trade heading into the afternoon, so I missed it off the 181 again. At that time, just normally after seeing a stock trade this much volume, and it's dropped off for so long here, and probably a lot more since prior to that. But this type of stock is a pop and drop type of stock, so you'd normally expect this to make lower highs, lower lows. It ended up holding 181 as support pretty nicely. It's just been stuck in this range since. So I'm not as inclined to put this on our main list just yet. There we go. I think I got the frog out. But with that in mind, at least, we'll come back to this perhaps at the end just to kind of check in with it and see. All right, let's see what else we got here in the meantime. There we go, a lot better. So GMVD, lower highs right now, ended up pumping up a few times, got halted a few times, I should say, on the way up. Went from 3 up to 850, not outside the norm here at this point. After the last week and a half, 2 weeks that we've had with all these crazy pop and drop type of plays, doesn't mean that they're really tradable though, honestly. So, for every time this got halted, you would expect for it to pull back. And once it got halted on the way down right here, it looks like that looks like game over right there. So, it's bottomed out roughly here, but order book is too thin. So I'm going to pass on it for right now. RVNC trying to make a squeeze back up right now. This actually doesn't look too bad. I'll come back to this by the end of this meeting. All right, now we'll kind of just skim through. I know that crypto had a nice little push up over the weekend heading into today and really since. So you have a few of these crypto or Bitcoin mining affiliates like EBON, BTBT, of course, Mara. We did really well on this one from the morning session. Obviously, Coinbase. You can keep going down the list. I'm sure there's, more and more of them over time. But, these crypto mining related stocks, Bitcoin mining related stocks, they normally don't make a great move in the afternoons. We ended up obviously seeing that from last week with Mara. I put it on the back of our watch list, and I told you folks, like, I'm not really expecting much of this. It's just the kind of, show and tell there. And it ended up failing to really make that illustrious run higher. So, they ended up having a great run. Riot looks like around the top. Coinbase is still teasing off the 39. If this could re-break 39, is it possible for it to make a 50-cent move at least? I think it's definitely possible, but otherwise, Mara, I think, won't really be worth it. Out of all the crypto ones, maybe I'll just put Coinbase on there. Seems to be the most volatile in a good way. All right, what else we got here for right now? We got Bobby J, BBBY right now. Not really doing a whole lot, but going down. Better short than anything. AEHR. This stock is like slowly making a move back up to all-time highs. So it ended up breaking all-time highs heading into, the end of this past year, but now trying to squeeze back up. I didn't realize, wow, the last 2 trading days, this thing really took off again. So it will be back on our side list, definitely for tomorrow morning. I don't know if it's going to make that big pop heading into the close today. It's on a big spread right now. I would wait to see tomorrow morning more on anything for this trade, but we'll check in with this if anything, if nothing else is moving. Novavax had a nice day. I know Michael called that out earlier. LU pretty dead right now. I think Hive's another crypto miner affiliate. All right, let's hop over to the loser side right now. Again, market hasn't gone much of anywhere since the morning. If anything, has slowly pulled back. I don't really know how much there's going to be on the loser side here, but let's just see. You got Kala, not Kala, but Cala. How about that? Down 80+%. This thing took a huge hit overnight. I didn't realize that. Kind of my first look at it right now. Goes to show how kind of ignorant I was of this stock, at least early on today. But we had our hands full with the others. Sears, CERS. Hey, seemingly a nice short. Also missed out on this one. Down over 25% right now. It is shortable on TradeStation and at the lows. So it is pretty slow of a trade, but technically it's tradable, right? I mean, if you're looking to practice a short trade, then this could be for you. It's not at all-time lows. So, personally, I'm going to pass on putting this on our main list. I feel like there could be, if anything, maybe a better opportunity as a short. KPTI, kind of same characteristics as that last one. If anything, the difference between this and the other one is that this is, I think, breaking all-time lows, right? Just take a look at the historical chart back from 2019. Low back then was 402. It's well below there today. 245 is the low from last month. So that's the all-time low technically, but it's certainly on its way down there right now. It seems like it. So, I don't mind putting this on our main list just to give it a shot, if anything. All right. Let's see what else we got just to wrap up the loser side right now. I mean, there's definitely a few more that are shortable that are down big, but I see a couple of ETFs being those. They got Lululemon, pretty expensive, pretty flat right now too. Not a whole lot that really stands out from this side right now, folks. If there is anything, just type it in the chat board for all of us inside the live trading room and for all of us on YouTube or Facebook Live. Brian, UVXY high of the day might gain steam towards the close. Well, with the markets pulling back a bit, that could be a possible play. You know what I always say on the ETFs like this, right? And Brian knows in particular, but for all of us collectively, if you do well on these ETFs day over day, then you definitely should be more inclined to follow them, at least when the markets are showing good direction. Otherwise, if you have Bookmap, then that is something that would give you a pretty good edge on following the big money for an ETF in particular. But if you don't have Bookmap, if you don't have level 4, then I would not suggest for you to be trading it. But, hey, that could be a good thought, though. Market's been pulling back, so right? Hey, listen, there's a few of us inside this live trading room that I've seen just post some good trades consistently, not just hitting light or striking gold, hitting lightning once. That's it. Like Brian, Chuck. I can keep going down the list, but a bunch of us that have consistently traded the ETFs before. You know who you are. Do I have CTMX from Grant? And I'm sorry, I'll go to Mike right after with Rumble, which we end up following Friday afternoon. So I forgot about that, Mike. I appreciate that. We'll see what Rumble's up to. Yeah, CTMX looks pretty good, Grant. Wow. Starting to creep up now, kind of like since 2 p.m. It's been a slow poke a bit, but I guess I skipped over this. This looks pretty good. Yeah, it's right up towards the highs that we had back from Friday last week. 298. Definitely good call. And then from Mike, Rumble. Flat. It's up like 9-10%. Good swing if you're in from it from the end of last week. But right now, not a whole lot happening on the intraday. All right, let me just check Benzinga Pro, and I think that'll wrap up things for us here today. So I have GMVD. I don't know what the chart looks like. It's trying to squeeze up a little bit. Yeah, we checked this one out earlier. We have the INM trade. Not a whole lot happening there. We have Hut. I think we're at the bottom of the barrel here, folks. All right, so we're going to wrap up right now. For all of us on Facebook Live or YouTube, I appreciate you folks sticking with me each and every day, each and every afternoon. If you have any questions that you'd like to send on over, feel more than free to do so. My email address, always like to post here at the end of these streams on YouTube. Josh@ctutrading.com is my email. I ended up getting back to everyone from the end of last week, but hey, if there's any other questions or trades that you wanted to go over with me, mainly day trades, but swing trading as well. We ended up recently launching our swing trading pro course back from October of last year. So we still have that ongoing heading into this month even. But, any questions in relation to both day trading or swing trading, feel more than free to send over a quick email. Otherwise, though, if you're interested in joining our live trading room, just go right down to the link on the green banner below the stream to get yourself started. But for Ravina, Mike, Leda, Grant, Brad, and Brian, and all of us just there right now. I'm going to be in the chat board at least up until 3:30. You'll have Rich on the mic from 3 taking you into the market close. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.